Okay. We are recording.
What? Expect more work for the next Christmas thing. You are. This is true.
While we're waiting 2 more minutes, I'm gonna plug in my code.
Wait, so what are you doing?
So you're taking 56, right?
Yes.
Have you done like singular value decomposition, like matrix decomposition yet?
What does decomposition mean?
Basically, long story short, you have like data that's like super crazy and variable, and then you like can encapsulate that variability by like matrix transforming it.
Oh.
It's literally like a dot product, but it like has a fancy name.
Oh.
So you get like a matrix of like unit vectors basically, and then like a matrix of like weightages. So what I'm doing is I'm constructing that, and it's called PCA, and there's a nice inbuilt package for it and everything. But basically, yeah.
I don't know where I just pulled that from somewhere. I don't know where that came
That's
from.
exactly what it is. So I'm using PCA, and I currently have this data set, and I'm like trying to remove the background and just study variability. So for that whole background removal, I'm like trying to encapsulate 90% of the variability in the background.
Oh, I see.
Chuck that off and then study like the.
Oh, okay.
So all of this is for that one like background.
I see.
But like this is like my ultra clean data. I don't know if I have a plot of my messy data, but it's like crazy looking.
Oh.
Wait. No, I don't have any of the plots.
Oh, data.
Data. I don't want to look at. Yeah, so it like crashes because of memory errors and stuff.
Jeez.
And this is only 6 months. I need to do it for like a whole year.
Do you need to have like compute resources? Okay.
Yeah, I just don't want to. Like I have to go up to the.
Are you recording now?
Yes, I am recording. I've been recording.
Okay.
No, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just chop it off. It's okay.
Charlie and I had a very deep conversation when he was recording the whole time. I was like, oh, I gotta cut that.
Okay. Or you just keep it in for enrichment.
It was like my first self problems.
Oh.
Okay. I'll just close the door.
Okay.
All right, everyone, we're gonna get started. Firstly, Brianna has an announcement, so we'll listen to her. Oh, and Eli has an announcement, and so I thought you guys might have done 2 seconds, but Brianna and Eli have an announcement. We'll start there.
All right, hello everyone. I'm Brianna. I'm not here very often, but I am the head. And then this is Eli. We're both your small council representatives. I'm just in case you don't know what that means. Basically, Eli and I are the voice for the undergrads, and basically once a month we meet with the rest of the department. So the chair, along with like 2 grad students, 2 postdocs, and some other like undergraduate advisors. So basically talk about problems and also news that needs to be spread out. So we're kindly asking that you just take a few minutes and you scan this QR code, which is a form. And it basically asks for feedback about how things are going right now as an undergrad at Berkeley. Like, are you having difficulty getting into classes? What was your coding experience prior to coming here? We just kind of want to like do like a temperature check of like the undergrads because we have our small council meeting on Monday. So if you have any complaints at all, or if anything has happened that you would like the department to know about, you can always come to us or email us. So I put our emails up. But yes, please just take a few minutes, and the more feedback you can give us, the better. So yeah. Anything else? Okay.
That is it. Thank you all so much. Maybe any questions?
Okay. I just take like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
We just like sent out emails. We had like 4
Oh yeah, that'd be good. I'll do that right once they're done with this.
You want to Yes.
Bye-bye.
Like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, probably.
The
The chronically absent decal instructors.
I was also not supposed to be able to make this time, and then I quit my stop that class.
Oh. You
I was being taught by this by this professor. What's his name? And I was not vibing with the way that the class. Oh my god, why is there just a faction gradient?
Oh, very cool.
Okay, are people about done with filling out this form?
No.
No. Okay.
Is it long? How long is it? Okay.
There's like a lot of like written response.
Oh, okay. We'll give it some time.
Okay, while y'all are filling out the form, I'm also just gonna say super quickly as a reminder, if you have not spoken to any of the instructors, one out of the like 9 or 10 of us, at our office hours or after class to do your project check-in, please, please, please email us, so we can get you your feedback. We want to make sure that your project is like on a good direction, so you don't have to like panic and scrap everything and start from scratch and everything. So just make sure you reach out, make sure you talk to us if you haven't already, which I think the deadline to submit that check-in was passed. So in theory, everyone should have. Read that when I teach today. I'm gonna like say gibberish.
Honestly, me too. I'm gonna like
Here.
it'll be okay. You got it. You got it. Just rely on the experience, the teaching experience.
Done. 4 years in a row now.
Let the soul of past Pranati instructions
Yeah,
take over.
this is true. I have taught this lecture.
Yeah, it's like sleepwalking.
This is true. I made this lecture.
You did make this lecture. You know the ins and
I
outs.
do know it.
I know.
It'll be fun.
Okay. I think I will be the Pandas successor, I think.
I know, I need a panda successor.
Yeah.
Especially like for pandas and plotting, like I feel like there needs to be one person that like knows all this stuff.
Yes. Just like Mira does all the curve fitting stuff.
Yeah, Mira does the curving. I don't know who's gonna do animation.
After Charlie's
After
gone?
Charlie.
I don't know.
Yes, Charlie's still around there.
Charlie is Oshi?
Yeah, they're gonna be,
Okay.
well, they're still working.
It's a day, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oops.
Yeah, because Charlie and I are both still working around at Berkeley, so we will be
Oh,
here
okay.
next semester.
So you're working at SSL for hopefully? like
As in like, they're waiting on grant funding.
oh.
I
Okay.
mean, like, I still have my project to do. Okay, we should start.
All right. Everybody good?
Okay. We are gonna get started. I'll go for it.
Okay.
Typical jazz lectures will be recorded. We are so sorry for forgetting 3 lectures in a row. If there are any questions about any of those lectures, please come talk to us. We should have past recordings as well that are available for those.
Yeah.
Typical jazz.
Yep, basic stuff. Okay, announcements. Homework 7's due today, so turn that in if you can. And then homework 8 was released last lecture, so it's due next Monday, so you guys have a week to complete that. And then they're due, I thought they're already due. Like
They're due?
today.
Oh, maybe they're due today.
Okay, well, yeah, the check-ins are due today at midnight, supposedly. Yeah, and then your proposals are due next week. So you guys have a little bit of stuff to do. Don't push it off too much because it'll get harder. So, yeah.
Ideally, before you go on Thanksgiving break, you should have a pretty good chunk of your project sort of figured out so you can actually take a break over Thanksgiving break. As someone who took this decal in fall, my Thanksgiving break was panicking over this project over Thanksgiving break, and I don't want that to happen to anyone. So let's get it done.
Cool. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do a little warm up just so you guys try and recall what happened last lecture. So, give you guys a couple minutes, like 3-ish minutes to answer all these questions on a piece of paper. Yeah, and feel free to talk to each other because talking is good.
I don't know if we taught them question 5, but everything else should be
Yeah,
fine.
you figure it out.
That one's like pretty easy.
They got it. They're smart cookies.
Okay, so then,
Is there a way to freeze this? Okay.
I think you're mirrored. I know you can like, if you like extend it, it'll work, but I don't know how to do all that. Okay, so then I can start with this part, so I can do the seaborne load, and then if you want to do this part.
Yes,
Because that's not safe for me, and it just gets,
that's good stuff. Okay, that's good.
yeah, because then, and then I can do this joint and here.
Yeah, that's the stuff I was like, whoa, I don't remember this.
I can do that.
Okay, sounds good.
So you can just do the matplotlib and I'll.
Yes, yes, yes. Honestly, I'll just watch and take my own notes because I like forgot all of Seaboard. Like once I left this class, I'm like, I never use Seaboard.
To be fair, I think I only ever used it in Data 100.
Oh, you use Seaboard in 800? I'm not taking
haven't
it.
taken it.
Yeah, I'm about to take it. So
That class, I'm excited for you to take it.
okay, I'm excited.
It was so helpful.
It's very useful. I think it's very applied class.
Literally all of the work I do, even though I don't do like crazy physics work, is just because of Data 100. It's
Oh, yeah.
like, okay, like I need to know more about how to analyze the data than I do like what exactly the data is telling me. Because then I do the analysis and I go to my PI and go, here you go. And then he tells me, I offer you my plot, and then he tells me what's going on.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I did. I made some plots I don't understand. So I'm like, please explain what
And
does
then,
this mean?
and then I learn.
Yes, I know
So it's good.
how it is. That's it.
So like you have to go one way or the other.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like this way is easier.
Yes, it's much easier to be like, here, so this is what I feel like graphs are just graphs are obviously like intuitive, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, but also like any kind of like correlation, statistical analysis, like you could do all that and just be like, this is what I got.
yeah,
What does that mean?
here are the plots. This has to mean something, right?
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, should we?
How are we feeling? Need more time? Good to go? Can I get a thumbs up if you guys are ready to move on? No? Okay, like 2 more minutes, 2 more minutes.
It's also, we note that we probably haven't explained how to do part 5, so do not panic.
Yeah.
Just try to guess. The biggest hint is like the statement you would use has the word shape in it.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see that. Are you grading this section as well? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I signed up to grade this one. Okay. Oh. It's on a separate sheet.
So that's how I know that I didn't do it. You know what it's called?
It's just called grading scheduler. There it is.
Oh, no, I did. I haven't signed up. What am I even grading? That makes sense.
I low-key don't know how to. I haven't even looked at that homework.
I'll help you grade.
Okay. Sounds like everyone's like the talking stopped, so I think you guys are good to go. We'll go ahead and go over these warm-up questions. So for the first one, it's how do you turn a list into a Pandas series? We went over this last lecture, but you essentially just call pd.series on a list, and it's like the same thing for making a data frame in dictionaries. You just call pd.dataframe on the dictionary, and it converts it to a Pandas data frame / Pandas series. The next question is how do you create a new column in a data frame? Basically, if the column name doesn't exist in the data frame already, and you can just pretend like you're indexing it and it'll create a new column. So for example, here, I think it was in the lecture, the numbers might be off, but we created a new column called senior where it says whether it gives a true or false value based on whether the person's age is over 28. So if that's a little confusing, just look back at the posted lecture demo from last lecture. And then fourth question is how do you read in the CSV file? Pandas has a read CSV function, makes it really easy, and it converts it automatically into a data frame. So then you can just start doing fun stuff with that. And then to do find the shape of a data frame, it's just df.shape. I think it's the same for like arrays 2.
Yeah, for arrays, you have to do np.shape of whatever array.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I'll give you guys like 30 seconds to look at / write it down if you haven't.
And then are there any questions
Yeah.
about any of the?
Cool. Yeah, 10 more seconds. Okay, we're gonna move on. These lecture slides will be posted, so if you didn't get them, just look back. It's fine. So we're just gonna do a quick little speed run of last lecture. Hopefully the warm-up questions like basically answer some of the stuff here. So, but starting with Panda series. So Panda series, think of it like the Pandas version of like an array or a list. And from Panda series, you can create Pandas data frames. Pandas data frames are essentially like the columns are all Panda series, so they're kind of like combined into one data structure. And it makes a nice little table. So yeah. And then there's a bunch of functions that you can call on both series and data frames. So for example, on this Panda series, you can find the mean, the max, and the min. And there's also things you can do on an entire data frame. Like, is there another one? Oh, is there not? Oh, we didn't. Oh, okay. Anyways, yeah, you can call functions on it. There's documentation for it if you get lost. If you want to edit a data frame, you can do something like this. So for example, here we're adding 1 to every single age in the data frame, and it updates it nicely. So yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Any questions on that? I know that's kind of quick and sort of like hand wavy, but hopefully you watched last lecture and it makes sense. So yeah, we're gonna move on to some practice questions.
Okay.
Oh yeah, never
Yeah.
mind.
No, well, this is the practice
Okay.
questions. Okay. Before we actually start practicing, we're going to introduce you to another package. This one is called Seaborn. It's another package that is used for statistical visualizations. So a lot of what you did with Matplotlib was kind of, well, I would say kind of basic plotting. You were just making some like line plots and maybe some like 2D plots. But with Seaborn, if you're doing any kind of like statistical plots like box and whisker plots or like bar plots or complicated stuff that we'll see a little later in this lecture, you'll want to use Seaborn just because it's like built better for that. And it works super well with NumPy and Pandas. So you kind of can use very similar logic to what you do for a Matplotlib plot. You just might have to adapt the syntax a little bit, but it's nothing crazy. Also, the wonderful thing about Seaborn is there's a lot of data that's like inbuilt into the package. So sometimes if you want to just like try random shenanigans, you can just use their data instead of like loading in one of your own data sets and stuff. So it's just good for exploration. So what we're going to do now is we're going to all open up Jupyter Notebooks, and we're basically going to work through the discussion today together. So yeah, I guess we're going to start with just some basic steps. Open up a Jupyter Notebook, make sure you title it Pandas Discussion or whatever you want to do, and then make sure that you have your first cell of your entire notebook. It should always be your import cell, which is where you import all your different packages. We went from 0 like last week to 4 this week, which is so exciting. So make sure you import all 4 of these. And then, yeah, I didn't say this, but the like alias for Seaborn is SNS. That's just what's used commonly.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone take a second to do that. And then like a minute, I'll get like a thumbs up to see if that's working for people.
Yeah. And raise your hand if you have any questions.
Oh, interesting. I just do like a .csv.
What's it?
Forgot you don't even have to like
Yeah,
put in a file.
because it's just
an inbuilt.
inbuilt. That's nice. So
Okay, do people have the imports? Everything's running. Things aren't running. I'm assuming because people are silent and typing, things are not working. Is there any like issues people are facing, or is it just like taking a second to do?
just
Okay.
Okay. maybe. Does everyone have like Seaborn installed? Because you might get a module not found, huh?
It comes as a default.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Is anybody getting a module not found error when they try to do the Seaborn import? Okay.
Okay. I just thought that might be a thing.
Sometimes so when you install Jupyter, it gives you a bunch of pre-install, or Anaconda gives you a bunch of packages that they deem are like common use. So these, for example, just because everyone uses them, Seaborn, a bunch of other ones. There's like a whole list that you can find on your terminal. Sometimes if you're using like a really niche package, you might have to like download and like install it yourself. But do you ever run into that? We can always help you, and so can the internet. Okay, I'm gonna move forward. So oh wait, we got the answers. So first, what I want y'all to do, I'm giving you this function called sns.loadDataset. This is basically just gonna load the data. It's not gonna create any data frames. It's not gonna like do anything. That is just what you use to load the data. And our data set is called Penguins. So you can literally just type in that SNS load dataset Penguins, make sure you name it something, and that will load the data set onto your Jupyter. After that, you have two tasks that I'll give you like a minute to do. First, make sure that you put that in a pandas data frame. And then second, print the first 5 rows using pd.head. So take a minute, talk to each other, try to figure out how to do that. Make sure it works. And note that Penguins, because it's an existing file that's like in the Seaborn package, you don't need to put a file extension or anything. You can just say Penguins and it'll know what you're talking.
I put it in, but like nothing showing up.
Yeah. So what that does is just loads in the data. That's not displaying the data. It's not putting it in a data frame. It's not doing any of that. You need to make sure that you put it into a data frame and then display that data. So all you've done is just been like, hi, get this data. Yeah.
That's not load. Oh yeah, it's data set, not data.
Oh yes, it is data set.
Yeah.
Can you change that?
Yeah, I can change that real quick.
Thank you. Yes.
When I put in Penguins, like the load data set, it did me do that.
It did give you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know what.
Ooh.
I'm gonna look at yours and we'll look at yours.
Data set.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sometimes we do existing kind of position that you think, but still, before you work, just to make sure you guys it wasn't. But yeah, so you probably want to save that to like a variable name and then okay.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, this is load data set, not load data set.
Yeah, yeah, some monthly assistance. Yes, yes.
Great, have people kind of done part 3? Okay, if you haven't done 4 yet, but 3? Yes, no, maybe. Yeah, okay, cool. Then I'll give you guys another minute to try to figure out part 4. That should be pretty intuitive, hopefully. Then we'll do it again.
Yes, you just can't use Pandas operations on it, and are going to use Pandas operations, so we'll go over in a sec. Any other questions? So because we want to specify that. Yeah, so if we run that. You have to put it in a Pandas data frame. So this right now is like
Okay, I'm gonna go over these 2 steps now up here. Wait, Will, how do can I go to Jupyter on here?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. I like don't know how to
Yeah,
navigate
no,
it.
it's chill, it's chill. I already had it pulled up.
Oh, okay,
It's
fine.
like exit full screen. Pandas.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
these are like the answers.
That's okay.
basically.
I'll just like, that's okay. Okay, so as you can see, my first block of code is my import. So I'm gonna run that. Wait, that's not how to run on here. Wait, what is it? Command return?
Yeah, shift enter.
Shift enter.
Yeah. Oh, this shift doesn't work, so just be careful.
Like that button.
It's like the button doesn't work. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So first I'm importing. Wait, I'm gonna just kill the kernel so it looks
Oh, yeah.
the same. Okay. Lovely. The first, I'm gonna do all my imports, and then first I loaded in my Seaborn dataset, stored it in the variable named penguins, and then I made a data frame out of that. And so if I just do this, God. Sorry guys, I'm like a Windows user, like ride or die, and the keyboard makes no sense. Okay, so now this is my whole entire data frame. So you see it has 344 rows and 7 columns, a little bit larger than last class that we were working with. But now the next part of the question was to get the first 5 rows of the data frame. Can anybody tell me how to do that using df.head? Yeah. Fire. You got it. So yeah, that gives me the first 5 rows. Pretty intuitive, pretty simple, just getting the first 5 rows. Make sense? Was everyone able to get to this point where they have the data frame stored and displaying? Okay.
Yeah, make sure it's in a pandas data frame because it might display something if you just do sns.load dataset. But then if you try to do stuff later, it's not going to work. So just make sure it's in a pandas data frame.
Okay. Next,
We have to go to the slide,
oh,
right?
right.
Okay.
All right. So now these are a little bit more complicated from the get-go, so don't get too terrified. But we're gonna ask you to take a second. I'll say work through the first 4 parts of this. I don't know why there's a 4. Oh, okay. Yeah, work through the first 4 of these questions. If there's any questions, please ask us. You're also welcome to look through the Pandas documentation if you want to. I would just like highly suggest, at least for now while you're learning, to kind of stay away from like the Google Gemini or like putting this into GPT because it will know what to do. But just so you guys can know what these functions are up to, you kind of do it. If you get stuck, let us know, talk to each other. We'll give you a few minutes because this stuff might take a second.
Yeah, remember this lecture, like this discussion is always challenging because there's just so much stuff.
There is stuff. Yeah. I'm thinking that we
Skip this one.
probably skip this thing and then just go straight to this
The
plotting.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we should skip slide. Unless, okay, yeah, because I think 20 and 21 are like isolated. So let's skip that. So we'll do what we're doing right now and then jump straight to.
All the species could have figured
Yeah.
guys.
So this one's just.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. This is just a scatter.
So yeah, this one I think we should have them do, and then I'll walk them through this.
Okay, sounds good. Like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
take a look just so I
Take
can.
your- Right, how are people feeling? Any questions?
What do you suppose to put in
Yeah. So I would suggest going on the internet and looking up Python. I think it's pandas.unique and seeing what the documentation tells you to put in there. It'll give you all these parameter options. So just take a look, see what they're helping. I will also say sometimes functions don't require inputs and they might be optional. Sometimes there is a mandatory input. But the documentation will tell you all about it. So.
Sort of. This is just fun to me. I thought there was a way that you could like group
Hue.
for scatter, right?
Oh, wait, but this is PLT dot scatter, not Seaborn. Seaborn is.
Oh, right. Yeah, I feel like this is like a really roundabout way. Okay. Oh, this is the whole point of it. This is the whole point of it. Okay.
That's probably the point because here you can have the hue.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was like, why are we doing this?
To like loop.
It's like you have to, so then you have to get a subset where, but like,
You have to define the subsets.
mhm, yeah, so that,
We should probably just walk.
okay, that's true. Wait, just so I'm explaining this correctly. The idea of subset. So we're getting all the unique species and then we're finding like, what is this thing doing?
So what that's doing is, so let's say there's 3 unique species, so it's building a data frame that is just containing information of that one species.
Oh, okay.
And then it's scattering it, and then it's looping again, doing the next unique species, and scattering it. All on the same function.
Oh, I see.
That makes sense?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
there's 3 unique species.
Oh, so,
from
oh,
this
oh, yeah,
data
yeah,
frame.
because it's overlaying 3 scatter
Yeah,
points. Yeah, okay.
Because it's all in the same figure.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Right, have people been able to get through at least 1 to 3? All good, take your time.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I wish I had like an hour and a half for this lecture. It always takes forever.
It's like the.
It's just so much new stuff. And it's like hard. Mhm.
It's all important homework.
Yeah.
Right.
This one's always hard to pace as well.
I know, right?
Like I want to give people time to look through documentation, but at the same time.
It's like we got to get through the material.
Okay, just because we have a lot to get through, I'm gonna move us forward and we're gonna work through this together.
Yeah.
So to do the first part of this question, like we just talked about earlier in our like practice questions, you can just do df.shape, and that just tells you 344 rows, 7 columns. Makes sense?
How did you do the Zoom thingy again? Like,
Control plus or something like that.
oh, okay. You just moved. So,
Cool.
yeah, cool.
All right, and next we asked you to print out what the unique species are. So what I'm doing is accessing df at species and then calling dot unique. And so what that will do is just give me a list of the unique species. Are people seeing that? Does that make sense? Cool. So this is one of those functions, I know it's a little confusing, that you like kind of tack onto the end because you're just trying to figure out what's unique. I wonder if it works the other way too. Let me try.
Go ahead.
I wonder if you can do like f dot unique of I don't know if that'll work. Okay.
And then you can see that if I actually try to put in like df at species inside my unique function statement, it yells and it's saying like you can't do that. So make sure that you know where exactly to put in your parameter that you're trying.
Yeah. It's because unique is a function specifically for series and not actual data frames.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways.
And then similarly, this is something we talked about a little bit last class, but you wanted to get the value counts of the species, so figure out how many penguins of each species are in the data frame. So you can do the same thing, just we'll give you a nice little Pandas series where it tells you what the species is and the number of penguins of each of those species that are in the database. Does that make sense? Are we clear on like unique and value counts? Just because those are 2 kind of important ones that you'll use a lot. Okay, tired. I think
This is like,
yeah, so the next part of this is pretty straightforward. This should be kind of familiar from what we've been doing in the previous lecture. It's pretty like basic statistics, but what we're asking you to do is print, I believe the minimum
length of bill, the maximum length of bill, the mean of flipper length, and the median of body mass. So all of these are just inbuilt functions. I think dot mean and dot median are at least familiar to people. Question mark? Yes, we've seen those before. We can use those.
Yep.
And then dot IDX min and IDX max I know are new, but those are basically telling you that the penguin at that index has the max bill length. So it's not actually telling you what the length is, it's just telling you at what index does that point exist.
Do they know what F strings are?
Have you guys put things in F strings before? Okay.
Okay,
good.
well, I was like, yeah, there's a lot, so don't try to copy all of it. The main thing you should just have is just this part. This is just to make it nice when it prints, so it's like
Yeah.
informative.
It just formats it nicely, gives you a good number of significant figures and this and that. Again, don't worry about copying all this down. We have a lot of ground to cover, and this will be literally uploaded as we do it right here. So
Yep.
do not be super worried.
Cool.
Okay.
We're gonna
Cool.
skip the only
I
Gensi
think
one.
were there more?
No, that's
No,
that's
okay.
it.
Does that all make sense to people? I know that was a little fast, but hopefully you got a little bit of an intuition on how to call functions on Pandas series from a column. Yeah, you feeling good about that? Okay, cool. So now the next part of this is we are going to all together walk through, because I know this is probably new, how to plot things that are straight out of a data frame. Because you guys have done a little bit of matplotlib, so we're going to use that, whatever we've learned from there, put it together with new stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Okay.
can have this open and then you can,
Just-
I can have
yeah.
this open and then you can
Yes,
do
yeah.
your thing.
Okay. That's ignore this. This is like we just skipped it for time. So
So what we're trying to do in this next part is make a plot of all the species, and we're going to do flipper length on the x-axis and the bill length on the y-axis. And the special part of this is we're going to try to make it such that each species has a different color on our scatter plot. Does that like problem statement make sense? Cool. So we're going to basically walk you through that step by step. Let us know if you can't see the code or if anything's confusing.
yeah. So as you guys probably know with matplotlib, the first thing that we have to do is create a figure, actual figure object to plot stuff on. So if you remember, it's just plt.figure, and then we want our figure size to be 8.6. That just makes it big enough so that we can see it basically. So that's that. So if we want to plot, basically separate each species onto their own color, matplotlib isn't super nice with it, so we have to kind of do some roundabout stuff in order to make it show what we want. So the first thing that we want to do is actually know what the species are in our data set. So we did this before, but can someone tell me, how do I get a list of like the species, only the species? I don't want every single like 300 row thing of it. How do I get only the unique species of the penguins data set?
Table species that you
Yes. So I believe we'll call it like species list. Is that how you spell species? I hope. Species list equals, and then I think it's called df. And then we want specifically the unique species dot unique. So essentially, this gives us a list of all the unique species within the data set. So now what we have to do is essentially for every unique species in the data set, we have to make a different scatter plot. So what I'm going to say is for each species in the list of species that we know, the first thing we want to do is we want to find only the rows that correspond to a specific species. So how do we do that? I'm going to call it subset. So this is a subset of our data frame. We're going to find within the data frame where the species column is equal to the species that we specify in species list. So for example, let me open up species list. In species list, so for example, for I don't know how to pronounce it, but like Adelie penguin, I want to go into our data frame and I want to get only the rows that correspond to an Adelie penguin. So if you this will I forgot the actual like counts of it, but there's like 152 Adelie penguins within this data set. So it's going to this is basically representative of only the Adelie penguins in our data set.
This is what we did last class where we just selected the rows that
Yeah.
we're interested in.
This is just filtering a data frame. So once we do that, then we want to make a scatter plot of this subsets. What do we want? Again, I think it's flipper length and bill length. So on the x-axis, we're going to have our flipper length. So we want to access our new subset and get their flipper length in millimeters. And then on our y-axis, we want to have their bill length. So it's going to be df similarly, it'll be df subset. And this will be bill length millimeters. And then this is for basically formatting to make our graph nice. We're going to say that our label is equal to the name of the species. So essentially what this does is it labels the colors nicely so that we know what color corresponds to what species in the data set. So does everyone sort of understand what we're doing here? Are there any questions I can clarify? No? Okay. So right now we'll give it a legend so that it shows up like in a corner somewhere like the species and their color, and then we'll show it. I'm just gonna skip the title because we're kind of running short on time. But typically you would want to add a title and label axes just so that someone knows what they're looking at. So let me zoom out a little bit. So essentially, as you guys can see now, the blue dots correspond to the Adelie penguin species. The orange spots correspond to a chinstrap penguin. The green spots correspond to a Gentoo penguin. And the way to think about this is just 3 different scatter plots overlaid on the same figure. So that's why I said it's not very nice to work with because we have to make 3 separate plots, put it on the same figure to display it. But as you'll see with Seaborn, it's a lot easier to do it with Seaborn. Yeah. Question.
Might be 3 separate graphs.
So that's probably because did you put your PLT figure outside the for loop?
No.
Yeah, so the PLT figure needs to be on the top. So you're creating a blank figure and then putting 3 things on it and then putting the show out the top.
Yeah, if you put inside the for loop, it's going to make 3 separate figure objects and thus 3 different graphs. Question. The code? Yeah. Again?
Does this logic make sense, people? Cool. Yeah. It lets us bring together like everything we've learned in Pandas plus everything we've learned in Matplotlib, which is super cool. Are we feeling good about moving on to something that's a little bit more complicated? Okay, I'll take the silence as a yes, just because we
Have no time.
have no time.
I know this is confusing us a lot, so if you need help, just come to office hours or stay after class and we can help you out.
Okay, so like I said briefly, Seaborn also can plot, and it does really, really good with statistical plots. So not your like basic scatter plot. Well, you could do that on Seaborn and stuff too, but it does a lot better when you're actually trying to do statistics. Also, when you're trying to do things like we just did, where you have to like plot a bunch of the things on the same axis but differentiate them somehow, does really, really good with that. So I'm going to show you now how you can do what we just did, but like with 1 parameter instead of having to write a loop for it. So, and we're going to do this with a different type of plot. I'll explain this when we get there, but we're going to use something called a joint plot. And we're basically going to plot the same data that we just did using Seaborn.
You have to like, that's okay. You just have to like tell it to
instead
of hitting escape only, which is hella annoying. But yeah, then
okay,
you're free.
You're good. Okay, so what we're going to do is call first we're going to create a figure. Doesn't change. I believe it doesn't change. I use it just because it's nice in my brain. But what we're going to do is create this plot called a joint plot. And all that is a scatter plot, but it also puts like distributions on there. You don't have to worry about the distribution part. That's like just fun things it does. But what's wonderful about Seaborn is you can do this all in one magical line. So I'm going to call sns.jointPlot. Joint plot. Can people see, or do I need to zoom in on the code? Can we see at the back? Okay. Right. And so the way that you do this for Seaborn is you have to define what the data is and what your X and Y are explicitly. So here in plt.scatter, you see how like matplotlib just knows your first input is your X, your second input's your Y. It just knows that. Seaborn, the syntax is a little different. So first you have to put in what your data is. So you say your data, and our data frame, I think, is just called df. So we're just going to say df. Make sense? Cool. And now, instead of accessing our column the same way that we would do where it was like df at column, we can just say x is whatever our column name is. Or sorry, our x axis name is. So flipper length millimeters, because that's the column we want our x. And we set our y to be bill length millimeters. Okay, cool. So what we've done is basically just condensed our initial plot onto this, our scatter plot. What's really fun about Seaborn is you can add this parameter called hue. And what hue does is basically lets you put in another column that will put colors on the plot to differentiate different things. In our case, we want the color to indicate our species. So we're just going to put in hue equals species, t.show. And we get this beautiful plot in one line of code it's basically the exact same plot as above. If you just look at the scatter plot, identical. So you have your 3 species of penguins distinguished by color. You don't have to put in like axis labels or anything. It does all that for you. And then additionally, you get these distributions, which are just showing you like for each one of the penguins, what their distribution looks like. So you can see this one's like roughly Gaussian, fun, just more information. Does this make sense? Oh yeah, what's up?
Cool.
Yes. Yeah, I personally think that Seaborn's actually a little bit more intuitive on how you define your inputs, because you say, this is my data frame, this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis, this is what I want to like differentiate it by, but to each their own. If you want to make something that's kind of like exactly comparable to the plot that we made above, I think you could just do sns.scatterplot. And that will like do exactly the same as the matplotlib plot, like identically, except it puts titles on there. So you see how that's a lot more fun and easy and wonderful, and we don't have to write like a gnarly loop. Yeah. Cool. And then I'm going to show you guys one more fun plot that basically, oh my God, that basically, you see how this plot has all of the, this plot only contains information about bill length and flipper length. Let's say we want to see information for all of the columns in our database at the same time and how they all relate to each other. So I will say this is always super useful, especially for like projects when you don't know what relates to what. Because when you look at a scatter plot, you might see a trend, you might see something, but you don't know until you look. And it's kind of annoying to have to write multiple plots like in a loop. So you can do this thing in Seaborn. It's called a pair plot. And what that does is it literally pairs up all your columns with each other and plots them as a scatter plot. But then also it will show you the distribution of your columns. So I'm just going to run that. And note that like the inputs and all that, nothing changes. Actually, wait, for this one, your inputs do change. I lied. You don't put it in X and Y because it's going to pair all the columns. You don't specify any columns. So you just put in what your data frame is and what you want to differentiate by. In this case, it's hue. Does that make sense? Cool. So I'm going to run this and then it'll take a second. Oh my God, sorry, I keep doing this. Command minus?
Yeah, minus.
Now you get this wonderful grid of plots, which is basically taking every single one of your columns that's relevant, that has like data, doing it both on the X and Y. So now you have like correlations of basically all of your data to each other. And then on the diagonal, you'll basically see the distributions of whatever this variable is. So as you can see, this is going to be the distribution of body mass because it has body mass on the X and Y, and then the diagonal continues. That makes sense. Cool. And this is just like a tiny sampling of the power of Seaborn. I would say that I personally love to use it for data exploration just because it makes plotting so easy, and it's like you can do so many types of plots with it. Yeah, if you open up the Seaborn documentation page, you'll see like, I don't know, like 90 different types of statistical plots, and they're all fun. So please do go on to explore that, especially when you guys are. I think I closed the slides. Was that the other tab?
Yeah, here you can do like
Sorry.
undo close tag. There you go.
Yeah, like especially when you guys are doing your initial project stuff. Super cool. Okay, there's gonna be an engagement. Sorry, we haven't left you for much time to do that, but yeah, please do. And then if anyone needs help on problem 3 of homework 8, these slides will contain some information that will guide you in the right direction if you need it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. If there's any questions, come chat with us.
Yep. Please stay if you have questions.
Sorry that was so fast.
Yeah, that's